Whenever I was younger and we moved from Fort Worth to River Oaks and we found a new church over there, whenever I got old enough to where I didn't have to go to church anymore, I quit going. I got an apartment across town and met a new group of friends that I was running with, doing the same thing, just bar hopping and just going out and having a good time was really all I cared about. And some time went by, and then my girlfriend that was living with me at the time came to me one day and told me she was pregnant. And so I didn't want him to be around any of that stuff. Whenever he was born, I didn't want anything like that going on around our little family. So I moved us away, just moved to Arlington, but far enough to where, people wouldn't swing by, and just kind of kept him away from all of that. Got a regular job and just went and did the 9 to 5 with 2 cars and a 3-bedroom house, and just doing what I thought was right, and straightened up and was pretty well flying right. And it was about a month after he was born, I woke up one morning to check on him, and he was laying there and he wasn't breathing. He had died in the night of sudden infant death syndrome, and I really just lost my mind at that point. I can really honestly say I don't even remember the next year. I just went and got a bottle and, I just drank and just anything to numb the pain. I didn't understand it, and he was kind of the foundation I had built my life around, and so everything crumbled whenever he was gone. And after about 7 or 8 years, things really got out of hand and came to a point where I really, really had to change my life, or really bad things were going to happen. My life had really gotten to a dark point, and I ran into an old pastor friend of mine from whenever I was a kid, Brother B. And I talked to him, and he asked me how I was doing. I think he knew. but he asked me how I was doing. I said, man, things are bad. Things are really, really bad. And I asked him, would you pray for me? And he said, yeah, I will pray for you. He said, but there's some things that you really need to do. And I said, all right, well, what should I do? And he told me about a place called the Victory Home that was a Christian home for men and women who had problems with drugs or alcohol or just life in general, a place to go stay and learn about the Lord and figure out a way to live better. I went in there not expecting anything, but I knew I needed to change. I met several guys and started talking to some of the guys who had been there for quite some time, and they said, yeah, we've had these same problems, and this is real. I started going to their Bible studies and prayer times and really seeking the Lord out, and it really caught to me that this is real, that once I started doing what the Word said, that things really started changing in my life, and God really revealed Himself to me within just the first week or two, and I saw it, and there was no going back. Since that point in 2003, I was able to give up drugs and alcohol and start moving forward with my life and actually experience the things that God had intended for me. And then about 5 years ago, I was able to marry Andrea, the most wonderful woman I've ever met. We have a little boy. His name's Shiloh. He's 2.5 years old now, really healthy and just a fun little guy, and we really have a good time with him. I would really encourage anybody that's having struggles, whether it's something like I was going through or just any number of things. Whenever you start realizing something's not right in your life, you're missing something, or things just aren't working out for you, to stop and search out and seek God. Once you start down that path of obedience, God just really starts honoring that, and things will really drastically change.